Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector, and I'm back. Hopefully you've had a solid weekend. You've been able to enjoy some game hunting, and you've been able to get out there and pick up some of the games that you've been wanting to add to your collection. I wanted to kick this video off just talking about GameStop yet again, because I did happen to go to a few GameStops over this weekend, and I'm noticing something. GameStop used to carry more games in the $9.99, in the $5.99 price range, and I'm seeing some of those same games go for even more money than they were before. And I feel like the company itself is trying to balance out the way it does its pricing. Now, I actually wound up speaking to an employee, and she told me that they got a new CEO about 6 months ago or so, and that CEO is simply, all he cares about is profit. It sounds like she didn't sound like a very happy employee. Sounds like a lot of things, a lot of benefits, and a lot of things for the employees there have been cut. And it's just not as, fun to work there. It's not as financially beneficial. So I would just assume that the folks that are there are probably there because they either A, have no other choice, or maybe they just like the discounts they can get on games. I'm really not sure, but if his main goal is profit, then it's pretty evident in the pricing, so much so where I don't know if it's beneficial for like a retro collector or even a video game collector to go to GameStop and buy games unless they're having a sale. So if GameStop is doing something like what they did not too long ago, where they're offering a 4 games under 20 for 40 or 4 games under 10 for 20, that makes sense because you can find some pretty decent titles, bundle them all together, and get a great deal. But I think GameStop is discouraged to do that when they see all the YouTubers jump online as they're doing the sale or after the sale is over, talking about how they saved hundreds or thousands of dollars at GameStop. And so I see those sales happening fewer and farther between. I remember like they would have a buy 2 get 1 or a buy 3 get 1 a few times a year. I mean, we're getting ready to hit April, and I don't know if we've seen a buy 2 get 1 or a buy 3 get 1 yet. And I know we've had some holidays already, so I feel like that's all becoming like harder to see and harder to find. They're coming in fewer and farther between. And so if you're looking to buy PS3 games, 360 games, or even some PS4 stuff or Switch stuff, I just don't really see the value in going there, especially if you're going to buy something new, because why buy GameStop new when you can just go on Amazon, and Amazon might have the game for cheaper, and when you get it, it'll be sealed, and you don't have to deal with all of the other nonsense that you deal with shopping at GameStop. I guess the other benefit when I think about it in shopping at GameStop is if you are a pro member, then you get a few cents off, I guess, what the regular price of the game would be. And I guess you get to rack up some points. You get to rack up some, you get the $5 monthly discount. So that, I guess, kind of helps you out there. But, unless GameStop is having a sale where you're able to get something for free or you get like a massive discount, I'm just not seeing the value. So if you're seeing something different where you're at or in your neck of the woods, let me know down in the comments. If there's a sale that I missed out on, if there's something going on online that I'm just not hip to, I'm always all ears for some new information or some new ways that I can get games on the cheap. So 2024 hasn't really kicked off for me as I thought it would. I don't feel like the retro collecting scene has kicked off the way I thought it would. I've seen Pixel Game Squad, and I'm not sure where those guys are located. I'm not sure if they're in California. I think they're in California. So the game collecting market might be a little bit different in California if you know where the swap meets are and you know where to go. Maybe it's different in other states, but I'm not seeing a lot of yard sales so far this year. I know we're barely like a couple days into spring, but I'm not even seeing much in terms of like my local game stores. It's just not the same. And I know we've been hearing this song for the last couple years, but this year it just feels different. Before, the issue was that games were available, but they were just, ridiculously priced. At this stage of the game, it just seems like there's lack of availability. Like, I'm not seeing the types of titles that I want to add to my collection. I am seeing a lot of sports. I'm seeing a lot of Jack and Daxter, a lot of, the common stuff, either that or the modern stuff, right? I'm seeing a lot of that. But in terms of retro collecting, I'm just not seeing what I was seeing like a couple years ago. I don't know if that's because the folks who have these games are starting to like hold on to them and cling to them, and they're not really trading them in as much. But yeah, I don't want to say the wells have run dry, because I feel like right after I put out a video like that, I happen to swing by a game store and they've got all kinds of exclusive stuff. Like the last time I said something like that, or I put out a video where I said it was dry, I went to one of my local spots and they had a Neo Geo AES waiting for me. So, I don't want to go out the window and say that, but it just seems like from a Facebook marketplace standpoint, from a mom and pop shop standpoint, we're just not seeing the types of gaming action that I guess I'd seen in the past couple years. So I don't know if that's different for you. Let me know if you're seeing that. I feel like I'm not seeing it. There are some Super Nintendo games that I am going to be on the prowl for this spring/summer. One of them is Super Turrican 2. I am looking for a loose cart of Super Turrican 2. I'm also looking for a loose cart of Mega Man 7, so I am looking for that. What else do I have on my radar? I think I am looking for a copy of Dracula X, but that's not high priority. If I happen to run into one at a decent price, I may pull the trigger. But right now, I want to say it's Super Turrican 2 and it's Mega Man 7. I do have Mega Man X, and I would love to get my hands on Mega Man X 2 and 3. But I haven't really seen those in the wild that much either. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what I'm able to find out in the wild. We'll see what's available for me. I also plan on doing a little bit of cross-country, making a few cross-country trips. So if I do happen to run into those in another state, I'll definitely share that with you on the channel here. Last thing that I wanted to do is just kind of give you an update. I don't think I've given an update with where I'm at in terms of the health and fitness journey. So I figured now would be a good time to kind of share that. So I had gotten down all the way down. My lowest, I was at roughly around 203, just getting ready to touch 202, which was for me roughly around, 23 pounds I was down. And I had been making some really, really good progress. I was loving the way that, I was feeling, loving the way that I was looking. But every once in a while, I would get a little lightheaded, and there were some days, because I was doing intermittent fasting, which I just learned that intermittent fasting can be bad for your heart. So, but that's one of the things that I was doing just to kind of regulate how much snacking I was doing, how much, making sure that I wasn't having any portions too large. I was doing a lot of salads and things like that. But there were days where I was getting a little dizzy, a little lightheaded. So I decided to kind of bring a little bit of sugar back into my system, back into, my diet. And it's had some pluses and some minuses. The pluses is that it's kind of helped me, in some ways, in terms of just not feeling like down. When I say down, I mean just like low energy. But in other ways, I think it's kind of removed the state of ketosis that my body was in, which enabled me to kind of drop the weight really quickly. So I haven't gained a ton of weight back. Where I'm at right now is I'm averaging around 206. So I'm only 3 pounds away from my lowest weight on average. I would say 206, 207, right? So I'm about 4 pounds away from the lowest that I've been. But that's with me doing like a little bit more snacking. That's with me eating like, more than just like 2 meals a day or like 2.5 meals a day. So that's been happening. Also, the gym time hasn't been as consistent as it was a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I was hitting the gym 5-6 days a week, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep that up. I knew I was going to eventually have to taper off to maybe about 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. But for the last couple of weeks, I've probably averaged about 3 to 4 days a week. And so not going to the gym, of course, I think impacts that as well. So between the slight changes in diet and the lower amount of times that I'm going to the gym, I think that's what's contributed back to me kind of gaining back those 4 pounds. How do I feel? I feel great. I feel good. Just went to the gym today. But I'm definitely doing more muscle building. I think at the beginning it was a lot of cardio. Not to say I wasn't, doing things to work my muscles, but it was definitely more cardio driven. For the past couple of weeks, it's definitely been more weight training, calisthenics, using my own body weight, push-ups, pull-ups, things like that. So overall, it's a grind. Getting your health in order and keeping it in order, it's a lifestyle. Being healthy is a lifestyle. You can't just go to the gym for a couple months and think that you're going to stay the same. When you commit to changing your diet and changing your habits and changing, your workout habits and what you do to keep yourself in shape, it really is a lifetime commitment. And so it's something that I realize I'm just going to have to stick to and keep on doing it. But outside of that, it's pretty good. This has been a good month for me in terms of video game pickups, things that I've added to the collection. I'm really happy and satisfied with what I've got. The Red Star, I've been playing PlayStation 2 today, so that's been a blast. And then I'm really looking forward to what I'm able to find in these next coming months. Hopefully the second quarter is better than the first. I did have to turn to some online venues to pick up some of the better games that I got. But I did start the year off with a bang, picking up that copy of Last Resort. So I'm really stoked about that. But let me know what you're seeing. Let me know what you're finding out near you. Let me know, what GameStop has near you, if you're seeing any deals, because I still want to go there. If I can make use of my coupons and points, then I definitely want to do that. Tomorrow, I will be doing a video reacting to some of my comments. It's been a while. It's been a couple months since I've done a comments review. I think the last time I reacted to comments, we were like roughly around 1,500 subs. Right now we're over 2,300 subs, so thank you to everyone who's been following. I am going to be doing a reaction to some of the comments, so stay tuned for that. That is going to be coming up tomorrow, and I think that'll be one that you'll enjoy. Well, thanks for stopping by. I am the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you had a great Saturday. I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.